Hey everybody, Rick the IT guy here, getting IT right. Today on my CCNA Journey, we want to talk about exam topic 3.4, which tells us that we need to be able to configure and verify single area OSPF version 2. Now, many of you are new to this channel, and I just want to say thank you for stopping by. Because there are hundreds, even thousands of people out there that are network aficionados, but you chose to stop by this channel. So thank you for that. Okay, now listen. Exam topic 3.4. And if you have the OCG, which is the official cert guide, right, written by Wendell Odom, if you have this book, okay, then you want to look at chapters 19, 20, and 21. And it'll give you a deeper dive into OSPF, LSAs, LSUs, and it's going to give you a deep dive. But in this video, the only thing we want to do is configure OSPF. So router 1 cannot talk to router 3, right? And whatever LAN is off of those subnets, they can't talk to each other if they need to. These four routers, router 1, 2, 3, and 4, all being connected. The ISP router, this gets them out to the internet. And so they can't talk to one another. Let's just verify that. We click on router 1 here. And we want to ping 10.1.3.2. And it's going to fail. Those four routers might as well be 4,000 routers, okay? Because we're not going to put static addresses on there. We're not going to statically route. We want to dynamically route, and that's why we're using OSPF, okay? So 10.1.3.2 is one of the links right here. This link here. 10.1.3.2 is the link coming off of R4 to router 3. Okay, so let's go ahead and configure. So on R1, I want to show IP interface brief because I want to know what IP addresses are on the links. So I want to take a look here first. So gig 000 10.1.1.1 and gig 001 is 10.1.4.1, and we want to advertise those routes. Now, I do have loopback addresses assigned, so in this particular video, I will not be using the router ID. And so let's go ahead and configure. Let's go get into conft, and we're going to say router OSPF, and we are going to give OSPF a number between 1 and 65,535, okay, for a process ID. That process ID can be any number in this range, and it can be different from router to router, okay? And it's how this particular router is how a router will handle the OSPF session. So you can have multi-area OSPF, and you can have more than one process ID, and that process ID will be related to a specific area, right? A network area. And so, yeah, it does not have to be the same process ID, but the router ID must be unique. The process ID from router to router can be the same, but the router ID must be unique. If it's not unique, you will not form a neighbor adjacency, right? So I'm just going to use one on this one, and we're going to want to advertise the networks 10.1.1.0, and we need to use a wildcard mask. So the wildcard mask, you're going to look at the subnet mask, and you'll be getting the wildcard mask. Every bit that is on, you turn it off when you inverse. And this is an inverse mask or other why it's known as a wildcard mask. So 255 minus 255 is 0 in the first 3 octets. That last octet, it is 252, and so 255 minus 255 minus 252 is 3 left over. This is a /30, so its mask will be 255, 255, 255, 252. So this will be it, and then we're gonna add the area. Boom, we're done. I'm going to hit the up arrow here. I'm going to run back, and I'm going to call that number 4. And we are going to create a passive interface. This is an interface that will not send hellos. And so this passive interface will not be advertised as a route. Okay. And I'm going to make the passive interface the loopback interface, L0. Now, I did not use the router ID command. What's going to be the router ID on this particular router? And you can pause the video. Okay. The router ID is going to be first the highest IP address given to a loopback interface. The second thing the router will do, if one's not specified using the router ID command, is it's going to look at any other interface on that router, and it's going to select the highest IP address in that order, loopback and then other interface, unless you specifically specify the router ID with the command router-ID, like so. I'm not going to use it there. I wouldn't use it there now anyway, because you're going to get an error message and you're going to have to clear the process ID. And really, when you use the router ID, you want to put it right underneath when you specify the process ID, and then you won't be getting an error. Okay. But this is done. So let's go to the next router. Now, I will tell you something before I get started. I have not gone into line console 0 and said logging synchronous. And so I may get that log information interruption right in the middle of my typing. You have to be careful, because instead of putting area 0, you might put area Z3 or 10 or whatever, based upon whatever it is you're typing. So one thing that you may want to do is you might want to go in and you might want to say line console 0, and then you might want to say logging synchronous, and then that'll stop some of that. I won't do that on the other 2 routers, and you may see what I mean. All right, so I'm going to use router OSPF, and I'm going to use a different process ID on this one. We're going to say 2, and but we're going to advertise network 10.1.1.0 inverse mask or wildcard mask 0.0.0.3. area 0. We're going to do the same thing for 2. We're going to make the passive interface. We're going to make it the loopback. See that message? That can come up. If you don't have logging synchronous come right up right when you're typing information, it could be a disaster. Okay, this is done. So we're going to come back. We're going to do the same thing on router 3. Oops. Enable. Conf T. Router. Oops. OSPF. We're going to use, what is this, router 3? So we'll use 3 here. And we're going to say network. We'll say network 10.1.2.0. The wildcard math. And we're going to do the same thing for the 3. See how I just barely beat that in there, because if I was putting the 3 there, it would change the area from 0 to 3, and then you'd have a mismatch and all these other error messages come up. So one of the things that I found is a good thing to do is line console 0, logging synchronous. All right, so that's done. I want to create a passive interface on the loopback interface. And we'll do the same thing on router 4. And we will be done configuring OSPF. Remember, the process ID can be anything between 1 and 65,535. So, and I'm going to put that for network 10.1.4.0 with a wildcard mask of 0.0.0.3. And we'll do the same thing for advertising the 3.0 network. We're going to make a passive interface of L0. Okay. We're all done configuring OSPF. So I'm going to show IP OSPF neighbor. Okay. And we're in a full adjacency with 1 and 3. So with this router and this router, so now we can see the databases. So let's go on to router 1 and let's show IP OSPF. OSPF. Let's show the database. And then there you see 1, 2, 3, and 4 routers. 1, 2, 3, and 4. I didn't mean to type that. Let's see. And so you see the OSPF routes. So let's ping router 3, okay, in both directions. Let's use 10.1.1.1 interface, and let's use the 10.1.4.1 interface, and let's just ping this one interface 10.1.3.2. Okay, let's do that, and just to verify connectivity. So I'm going to use the ping command. We're going to ping 10.1.3.2, and we are going to use the extended ping, and our source address is going to be 10.1.1.1, and we expect to see a reply here that's good. And there we are, we're successful. We're going to do the same thing, and we're going to use the other interface, 10.1.4.1 interface. Was it 4.1 or 4.2? Yeah, 4.1. I'm going to use that interface, and then we are going to use the extended ping command. Oops, I messed that up. Let me do that again. 10.1.4.1 target IP address. We had that messed up anyway. 10.1.3.2. That's who we're going to ping. And we're going to use the extended ping, and we're going to use 10.1.4.1 as the interface we're going to use to send the pings out. And then, so we expect to see success here. And so we have single area OSPF configured. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell when we upload new content, so you'll be notified. And we are going to use this exact same layout. Okay, we're going to use this exact same lab, and we're going to verify OSPF in another video. And we'll also use this ISP router. Thank you. See you next time.